Due to recent struggles, the San Jose Sharks have made a major shakeup by recalling a top defense prospect from the AHL. In this video, we're going to break down how big of an impact this call-up is going to make to the San Jose Sharks roster and how the future is looking in San Jose. So you're not going to want to miss this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into it, we got to say that around 70 to 80% of you guys watching these videos aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you're not subscribed, you want to keep up on the latest Sharks content, make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button. But guys, we gotta jump right into this today because the San Jose Sharks have recalled top D prospect. He was once a first-round draft pick at the 20th selection, Shakir Mukhamadullin from the Barracudas, and a lot of reaction from San Jose fans early on is they are very, very excited to have this guy called up. He is a huge body, coming in at 6'4". This guy is an absolute unit. They also do say he was dealing with some injury. That's why he's kind of had a slow start to the season, but he is fully healthy now. He's finally getting called up here, and it's looking great for this team. I mean, just last season, he had 34 points in 54 games as a big body defensive defenseman. He's a great two-way guy. He has a tremendous one-timer shot from the blue line. So it's really going to be great to see him get going here. Mark, what are your initial reaction on Mukhamadullin being called up here?
Look at this crystal ball. The future is teal, and the San Jose Sharks have a ton of prospects in this organization. Seeing Mukhamadullin make this lineup is awesome, and it shows you just a part of their future. With Sam Dickinson still being in the OHL, this is their top prospect playing in any professional league for them right now. So getting him on the ice after the injury is going to be a big bump. Darius, I don't know if you're excited for this as we are, but do you think he's a guy that could stay on this lineup for the rest of the year?
I think, yes. I think that he is too good for the AHL at this point. I think Sharks fans have been waiting for this guy to kind of graduate from the AHL and come up because there's so much hype around him. And obviously, it was another Mike Grier masterclass getting him from the New Jersey Devils in that Timo Meier trade. So I think Sharks fans have been waiting for this player. I think he's, finally arrived. I think this is a great opportunity for him to stay up with the big club because San Jose Sharks have a couple guys that they could move out, like Cody Ceci. He's missed some time. He's going to miss some time. Sounds like he's sick and dealing with something. So he's a guy that they could move out and make way for a guy like Mukhamadullin on the blue line. And I liked how you brought up Sam Dickinson in London as well, because I think that he's actually their best defensive prospect. Mukhamadullin is probably their best prospect available to play for the team right now. But what London's doing in part of what Dickinson's doing is pretty impressive this year after they've already won a championship. So the Sharks have a lot of really good defensive prospects and pieces that are coming up. So like you said, the future is teal, but KC, I mean, he's going to make an impact. I think there's no doubt about it. He put on a lot of weight, like Mark alluded to, and obviously he's got the scoring ability. So we saw what he can do in the AHL. I think it's going to translate to the NHL game, and they've been struggling. I think, a lot of people expected them to, but I think this is a guy who could be a difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting his call up. He's making the lineup tonight as the projected lines have him on that third pairing with Ruda after, some injuries have happened, and they're looking for a kind of a shakeup, like you alluded to, Darius. I mean, this team, they were hot for a while, and now it's kind of slowing off and cooling off a bit, so they want to shake this lineup up, whether it's bringing up a big defenseman like Mukhamadullin who can get some points and try to generate some more offense throughout this lineup and just be solid defensively when you got a guy coming in here tonight making his first start for your club in Georgiev. The club's really excited to have him in. It was a great trade for both sides. We discussed that earlier this week. So getting two new faces in the lineup tonight is definitely going to be great to see for the San Jose Sharks team because the future is teal. They dropped a banger holiday song today. So that means they got to win tonight, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, looking at this team, there's so many new faces that Mike Grier has brought into this roster, and they all kind of complement each other. We talked about the Georgiev trade. If you haven't watched it, you can go click the video we did a few days ago. But this is a low-risk, high-reward player that even if he doesn't pan out for this club, if he's not the goaltender to play with this club for the rest of the year, you can still move him for draft capital at the trade deadline when a team is desperately looking for a new goaltender. We see the Carolina Hurricanes trying to find goaltending help. Freddie Anderson is out for an extended period of time. They've been dealing with injuries. So maybe Georgiev for a third or a fourth is attractive to a team like this. He's also 14% retained by the Avalanche as well. So it's a smaller cap hit as it is. So the future does look good as they have so many assets to move on from. They have so many faces and things seem to be working. Darius, just looking at this roster, who are you most excited for that's debuting tonight?
You know what, Mark? This might come as a surprise to a lot of people, but I actually think it's Alexander Georgiev. And, you know, a lot of people might be thinking, what is this guy talking about because of his start to the season? But I'm looking at a guy who used to play for the New York Rangers and put up pretty good numbers there. He was a, really good option for the New York Rangers in his time in New York, and then obviously moved over to the Colorado Avalanche. And I think a lot of how this season started plays into how people view this goaltender. And I think that it's a little bit unfair. I think there was a lot of pressure on the Colorado Avalanche this season to be a competitive team and obviously go for another Stanley Cup, because we know, the likes of Nathan MacKinnon demand so much from this team that I think that, he got off to a rough start and then it just really snowballed from there. So I think he has a big opportunity here to show that he can still be that goaltender and a number one option in the league. So I think a lot of people are overlooking that fact that he might actually be a really good option for the Sharks in net if he can re-find his form. So I'm really excited for that. But Casey, I'm looking at this as like almost not a must win, but I think there's a lot of new faces. The vibes might be high because a couple of guys are getting called up. You have a new goaltender in net. I think you want to get a big win for a couple of the new guys.
Yeah, I think that this team together as a whole, as a younger kind of team, they always had that edge to go out and win. You don't want to bet against this San Jose Sharks team because they're just a bunch of young guys that are still figuring it out here in the NHL. And once they figure it out, man, they're going to have something special there. I mean, like you said, they got Dickinson coming up. He's not even on the team yet, and he's playing unreal for this team. Like, I think this guy is going to be a big part of this future. But another big part of this future comes in the crease, and that's Askarov. I mean, this guy has been playing some unbelievable hockey down in the AHL. He just got another shutout the other night down there, and so far in 12 games, he has a .945 save percentage with 3 shutouts. This guy could get called up at any point in time. What are you thinking here, Mark? Do you think Askarov could maybe get this call-up if Georgiev continues his cold streak?
Him down there to kind of get his confidence going is the best for him right now. We've seen some rumors flying around when he was with Nashville. He didn't want to be in the AHL and whatever that may be, but he does seem content being in the AHL, getting a few starts in the NHL and looking good in those starts. Darius, looking at this, do you think they'll start the end of the season with Askarov between the pipes?
I think Askarov being in the NHL is a lot closer than a lot of people think. And I think that he has more confidence in his play right now in the AHL because he sees the light at the end of the tunnel to actually make the NHL. Because when he was in Nashville, UC Saros just signed that big extension. You don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel to become a starter in the NHL. So I think in being in the San Jose Sharks organization, he finally sees that. I think he's playing with a lot of confidence down there in the AHL. As I alluded to earlier, speaking of guys who are too good for the AHL, I think he is already, right? Maybe he can clean up a few things, but I think that his time's coming sooner rather than later, whether Georgiev plays well or not, because he's the future of goaltending, maybe in the league, not let alone the San Jose Sharks. He is really good. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens this year, but I think there is a real possibility the Sharks end the year with him either, being the backup or maybe the starter already. There's a real possibility that he ends up there.
And his situation really reminds me, you guys might agree, is of Joseph Woll. I kind of see like him and Joseph Woll, they're two different style of goaltenders, no doubt about it. But the numbers here are very eerily similar to Joseph Woll when he was just dominating the AHL year after year and wasn't getting that call-up. And then he finally gets called up and plays some great hockey for the Toronto Maple Leafs club. So I think this is what we're going to see with Askarov. He's just dominating, getting experience, learning each and every game, each and every start to bring that to the NHL with him so he can be a dominant goaltender. And I think these two situations are very similar. And I think, like Darius said, Askarov is very, very close to getting that call up, and I think once he's up, there's no way he's going back down. We want to hear from you guys, Sharks fans. What do you think about Mukhamadullin, Georgiev getting his first start tonight, Askarov? Let us know all your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. We love hearing from you guys, reading through all your comments. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like on the video, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 8,000 subscribers before Christmas, so give us a little early Christmas gift. I know you already did with that banger holiday song today, so give us another one. Drop a subscribe if you're not already. But as always, I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-hosts, Mark Pye and Darius Domingues. We'll catch you in the next one.